Hello, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk to you about three books that I recently finished. The first book I read on my Kindle, which is called The Patchwork Girl of Oz. This book is part of the Oz, is book number 7 in the Oz series, and I really love this book. It is about a patchwork girl. Basically, she's made. We follow Ojo, who and his uncle, and they have no food, so they decide to go to this crooked musician, see what they can ask for or whatever. The musician offers them. Basically, he says that he's working on a project, and him and his wife. His wife ends up making this doll out of, patchwork quilt and stuff, and she's going to be her maid. So obviously these are munchkins, so they're quite a bit smaller, and stuff. And that's the first thing that happens. The they Then when the patchwork girl turns to life, he takes his magic powder and puts it on her, and she comes to life. And basically, she comes to life, and she knocks the powder off, and she knocks this other petrifying powder off the other side. And the petrifying fire powder puts Marguerite, the wife of the Crooked Man, and Uncle Nuke into a stunt to turn to stone. So then Ojo gets told by the cricket musician that there is a cure, but you have to have like a different items, like 3 tails of a woozy's tail, half of a butterfly, of a yellow butterfly, 6 green leaf clover, the well of a darkness in the darkness of the well, like a well that doesn't have the water doesn't hit the light, it's in the pits of darkness, and what was the last thing? And and oils from a live man's body. So very interesting concept. So they have to gather 5 things and stuff, and it's just a really fun adventure story about Ojo and how he learns that maybe this is not a good thing or whatever. But yeah, it was really good. The ending was a little quick on the ending. I didn't like that, so I rated it a 4-star instead of a straight 5-star. But I definitely really liked the book. It was just really whimsical. My favorite character was probably the Patchwork Girl. I loved Ojo and him going to jail and stuff. I loved the glass cat. She was in the book, and she was just really kind of a conceited cat, and she was like, "Oh, I like my brains and stuff." There is a lot of repetition, but it's only with the glass cat because she's very conceited, and she's very like she's not really good for a pet, So yeah, and then the scarecrow and the patchwork all meet, and they kind of like fall in love. And I think they're gonna fall in love later in the series because when they meet, it's like he's kind of like, "Oh, you're so pretty" and stuff. Yeah, so it just makes it kind of whimsical. It's just really fun. Dorothy's also in there. Toto's in there. The Cowardly Lion and the Hungry Tiger's in there. this is a bunch of the characters that we've already seen. Also, another favorite of my part is the Shaggy Man. The Shaggy Man comes back. He actually came in, I believe it was the birthday party book. I don't remember what that one was called, but with Ozma and stuff, going to the birthday party of Ozma, and it was kind of like pointless and stuff, and very negative. There was a negativity factor in there. But the Shaggy Man was part of that book, and the Shaggy Man lives in Oz now, and he like travels and stuff and sees the world. So he like talks about all these different characters that we already know, like the TikTok, Dorothy, just all these characters. It's just so fun. I loved it. So yes. So yes, I highly recommend that book. I highly recommend the series. You should, if you haven't read The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, read that one. And do continue with the series. Some of them I kind of like a 2-star, like oh, let's believe or disbelieve. So yeah. Okay. And stuff like that. Here you go, Bobby. That's chips? Yeah, that's chips. Okay. So, okay, and then that's and stuff. But I highly recommend continuing on with the series. It's a really good series so far, yes. So, yeah, awesome. So, then the next book I finished was Grimm. This is a short story collection by different authors. My favorite ones, and I gotta say that my favorite ones were The Key by Rachel Harkin, which was a retelling of Bluebeard. Loved that one. It was just so interesting, and it kind of reminded me of that movie. I think The Gift. Oh, I love The Gift. So I highly recommend that one. We have Figment, which was by Jerry Smith Reddy. That was also a 5-star. And this one was kind of like based on, I think, Puss in Boots. But it was, to me, it felt like the Monkey Paw and Puss in Boots combined together, which was really compelling. It was told by the object itself. So the object kind of has this like feelings and stuff, even though it doesn't. It's really interesting, really well done. Yay, I love that one story. And then the next one I rated 5-star was The 12th Girl by Melinda Lowe. And this one, it kind of had the same story of the 12 dancing princesses, but what it did differently, it had like this club, and of course, they would all go to this place and dance and stuff. But like it's when someone gets missing, because there's only 12 slots, someone gets missing, then you can like apply and get in. So this girl gets in, and she ends up like drinking and getting kind of wasted and doesn't remember anything about the party. And then afterwards, she goes in again and doesn't drink, and like finds the different things, different items. Well, actually, it's just like the 1 or 2, I think, items. And then she like does some sort of, I think she like burns the items or something. And instead of like doing a good thing, it like does a bad thing, and it like resorts to a little bit darker. So yes, I highly recommend that one. A lot of people say it's like the same thing, but it's actually different because it has like this evil kind of sister thing, and it's just really good. Highly recommend that story in it. And then I also rated another story that was five stars, which was Better by Sean David Hutchinson. I am definitely wanting to pick up more of his stuff. Better is kind of the Pied Piper Hamilton retelling, and that one was really, really good. It was like a sci-fi, and I think they were like experimenting on, it wasn't like um it was like a sci-fi, but it was like they were trying to experiment on like making robots because they were trying to figure out a sickness for this virus that was going around, and the virus, the one of the guys' character had it. He had like no legs and he was like really skinny, frail, and stuff. And there was kind of a love story in there as well. Really, really good. Highly recommend. So yeah, those are the ones that I rated a 5 star. Really like this book. This is a solid 4 star book for me. All the stories were either 4 or 5 stars. So yeah, highly recommend this anthology. And the last book I read was on my audiobook. And this book is called, I believe, And Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. Now, this book is kind of a thriller, and this is about a girl named Loyal, who's actually older. She's not really a girl, she's a woman. And her daughter disappeared when she was like 15 years old and stuff like that. The audiobook was really confusing. I highly do not recommend the audiobook because number one, there was a lot of stuff in here that was like triggering or would have triggered. But when I listened to the audiobook, there was nothing on there. Like she didn't, number one, she didn't distinguish anything. There was a lot of times that I was like, okay, who's the character? So we have L'Oreal, who's the mom of Ellie. Ellie, I thought got pregnant, but in fact it was someone else. Yes, that's right. It wasn't Ellie that got pregnant. Ellie got pregnant later. But well, she did get pregnant, but she got pregnant way later down the line. So we have like and stuff. So we have Laurel, who's searching for her daughter Ellie, and Ellie, who's missing. Then we have Floyd, who comes into Laura's life, and Floyd is a boy, and he has a relationship with them, with Laurel, and he has a relationship with them. Then we have Floyd's daughter Poppy, who looks exactly like Ellie. And then we have the character Noelle. And Noelle is Floyd's ex-girlfriend, that wants to be technically married to him and wants his children. And they try to get pregnant and stuff, and she like ends up like not getting pregnant and stuff, and then she gets jealous of the fact of Ellie, who she's tutoring and stuff. So she takes Ellie, gets her pregnant, she gets pregnant, and gives birth to Poppy. And then technically, so it's just, it is disturbing, but the audiobook was horrible. I did not, number one, there was a part where I had looked up spoilers for this book, and there was a part where, what was her name? Noelle, she, like, apparently, Noelle had Ellie, and Ellie's pregnant, and she gives him her bad food, and Ellie's like, well, I need good food. So I thought this was Laurel, because I was like, oh my god, like, yes, that would definitely make you run away. But then I was like, that's my brain was thinking that. But then, in fact, it was Laurel, or not Laurel, but Noelle, because it was like, but that doesn't really make sense. So yeah, the audiobook really wasn't that good. The person who voiced the audiobook didn't extend it, like didn't like make the characters different. So they didn't have like the different, like they had different characters and they had like different perspectives, and it was just all like one big perspective. So when it was talking about Noelle's perspective, I thought it was Laura's perspective. And when it was Laura's perspective, I thought it was someone else's perspective. So yeah, it was just a big convoluted mess with the audiobook. So then I had to look up a review, and I noticed that there was like some torture porn. I was like, I don't remember anything about anybody getting tortured. I do remember the abuse with child abuse and stuff, because I was really thinking that was really something that I think is bad, and that some people do and stuff. Like, it's just horrible. But some people do that, and you can't like say, "Oh, you're a bad parent." I mean, you can't do that. Like, I mean, I remember I was working at CVS, and there was this woman that came up to me, and she was picking up her prescription, and she goes, "Oh, I left my baby in the car." That's abuse right there. You don't even do that. I mean, you think, "Oh, it's nothing," but watch American Horror Story, because yeah, there's a part where I think it's Roganath. I think it's Roganath, in American Horror Story, where like she leaves her baby in the car, and it's only like, "Oh, I was only gone for like a couple minutes," and then she died. That baby died, and it doesn't show her that, but like somebody's talking to her about that situation and stuff, and so I stress this enough. Do not leave your baby in the car. I mean, that's dumb. That's the dumbest idea I've ever heard. I don't care if that baby's sleeping or whatever, and you don't want to bug people. I don't care. I breastfed in front of people. I don't really give a shit. So yeah. Anyway, so that was very bad. Like, she did abuse the kid, but her reasoning was, "This is not my kid." And I was like, "Yeah, but you're raising her." So yeah, it was awful. But I only rated that 2 stars, and I do think that it had potential. But the audiobook was just so horrible, I had rated it lower star. And that is the last 3 books that I read. Fun fact, I am currently reading The Help, loving that one right now. It's really funny. And I'm also currently reading iPads for Dummies, which is getting really, I don't know, it's not the best book. I think it's more an informational book. But yeah, I don't know. This will probably get a negative review as well, because I feel like it's for people who don't know computers or anything about computers. And I know everything I'm like right here. So I'm almost done with this book, and I know everything about this book. Yeah. So yeah, please comment down below if you have any thoughts on what I've read. If you want to read anything, just tell me what you think down below in the comments. I also have my website. I haven't updated it yet, but I will. I don't know when. I think I'm going to update it on Tuesday. But yeah, just comment down below. Tell me what you think, and stuff like that. Did you like, And Then She Was Gone, or the Patchwork Girl Vibes, if you read that, or even Grimm? What do you think of these stories and stuff? I'd love to hear your thoughts, and happy reading. Enjoy your day or your week, and bye. See you later.